Introduction of speaker for the topic entitled Green Architecture.
Good morning. It's my honor to introduce to you our first speaker for second session. Our speaker is a registered licensed architect and also an urban planner with over 10 years of diversified experience in various residential, commercial, office, institutional, liturgical, and hospitality development projects. He is an alumnus of the University of Santo Tomas in Manila, where he finished his bachelor's degree in architecture in 2007. Another milestone was added to his shoulder this year, 2021, when he finished the special course on urban and regional planning at the University of the Philippines School of Urban and Regional Planning. He is the Chief Architect Consultant of MIRAZOL and Mercado Design Consultants, formerly known as JRM Design Consultants, established in 2009, specializing on design, conceptualization, facade rehabilitation, urban design, project management, interior architecture, and as well as digital visualization. He currently holds the position of Design Architect of the Engineering and Design Group of Jamaica Realty and Marketing Corporation, a real estate corporation with residential subdivisions from regions 1 to 5. He is also one of the members of the founding group and the incumbent president of the United Architects of the Philippines Las Piñas chapter, and a member of the Philippine Institute of Environmental Planners. He has also contributed published articles for the newspaper The Manila Times about architecture and design, as well as the significance of the architecture profession in the real estate industry. He is an avid urban sketcher and a watercolor plein air enthusiast. Ladies and gentlemen, help me and join me in welcoming our first speaker, architect environmental planner, JOHNUS RENAN MIRAZOL.
Hi, good morning. My name is JOHNUS. I'm an architect and urban planner. For today, we shall begin this presentation with a brief introduction on green architecture and share with you how man first came about with the idea of sustainability. We shall also be tackling on its significance, the remarkable benefits, and various features of green building from design, construction, and operation. During this webinar, we shall be seeing samples of green projects and their key features. We shall also take a short preview on the Philippine Green Building Code, though we may not be able to tackle the technical ins and outs of the code, as this may need a more thorough discussion. But most importantly, what I wanted to share with you today are the green concepts and strategies that you can do on your own, whether to your house or place of work, which would progress this advocacy up to greater heights and improve your quality of life. All right. So green architecture is a philosophy or a sustainable method of green building design, wherein your primary objective is to put the environment first in mind by using sustainable strategies to reduce energy use by safeguarding air, water, and earth with effective concepts that makes a building both energy efficient and eco-friendly throughout the building's entire life cycle. Now, the concept of green architecture started with the Anasazi Indians AD 1. They are a rich culture of farming people in the Four Corners region of the United States up until the 1300s, when they were forced to migrate because of drought. Now, they introduced apartment house style villages that were built on the tops of mesas, which includes multiple room dwellings of beautiful stone and masonry. Now, the Anasazi Indians only maximized the use of fresh air, passive solar orientation, and cooling. And of course, the liberty of vast spaces to be able to foster a concept of interaction and a deep sense of community. Now, green building concepts during this time focused mainly on understanding sun and heating in such a way that they know how to orient their buildings to the light and was able to achieve just the right amount of temperature, absent, of course, the HVAC systems of today. And also, rainwater was also captured for irrigation and domestic use. Now, these structures were made entirely of stone, mud, and wood, which were the innate construction materials during the time surrounding the site, making it non toxic and healthy to the environment and its users. But the first modern example of green building was pioneered in 1977 by Norman Foster, the architect of Willis Faber and Dumas headquarters, which is now called the Willis Building, located in Ipswich, Suffolk, UK. Now, this building featured a landscaped roof garden, a grass roof, a naturally lit atrium, a black curtain wall to counter solar gain, which exhibits low energy consumptions as well. And best of all, this building was designed to encourage social interaction, which was realized in the building's plan. In the Philippines, the first certified green project was designed by Oppenheim Architecture and Design. It is the Net Metropolis by the Net Group, which is located in Fifth Avenue, uh, Bonifacio Global City, Taguig, in 2011, which is the flagship pilot development of the Philippine Green Building Council, or PhilGBC. This development is a mixed-use office retail complex occupying a 3-acre block, and it is composed of 3 towers ranging from 24 to 40 stories high, which I think it rests on 6 levels of parking floors and a fully arcaded retail. Now, the project envisions both environmental and economical resolution by incorporating 2 recreational parks as an amenity and landscape focal points. Now, the design was derived from a series of study of solar conditions and as well as outward views, which is represented in the building's dynamic and non-monotonous facade treatment. Also, a combination of sun shading and a double glazed curtain wall glass with low emissivity coating to reject the heat. Okay, so each of the towers considered minimizing solar heat gain while preserving scenic views, as well as optimizing the natural light, which was made possible using the aluminum screen overlays. Other features involve harvesting of condensate water from the air conditioning to be used for landscaping and cleaning, cold air recycling, wherein a portion of the cool exhaust air is ducted in to the arcade area to provide comfort cooling. Now, this development showcased green building practices adapted to the local context as evaluated by the Philippine Green Building Rating System, or BERDE. Now, it is harmless to say that green building is a guilt-free and fail-proof practice in design, construction, and operation, as this significantly provides healthier, more comfortable environments and occupant satisfaction. The multiple benefits that can be derived from its application can address many of our global concerns, such as climate change, uh, sustainable economic growth, and even wellness. Now, green building makes our built environment adaptable and resilient to all sorts of changes. Of course, with the assistance of modern day technology. Now, according to World Green Building Council, or WGBC, green building reduces or eliminates the negative impacts and creates positive impacts on our climate and natural environment. It also preserves precious natural resources and improves the quality of life. From the efficient use of energy, water, and other resources through the advancements of technology to make renewable and sustainable, to enabling the recycling and reuse of materials to support pollution and waste reduction measures, to providing good indoor environmental air quality using non-toxic materials and finishes, and of course, taking into consideration the quality of life of the occupants from the start of the building's design by including them as early as the planning stages. Now, in construction, you can consider strategies on site that will save money and resources, even at the first day of construction. So, this is by reducing unnecessary construction activities due to the lack of pre-planning actions. And in operation, the use of durable materials that are easier to maintain and built to last can exceed the projected time frame for maintenance, renovations, and even eliminates untimely repairs. Now, in all projects, cost acts as the pin of a grenade because once you lose control of it, you're done. Now, in green building, uh, initial cost is the actual cost of materials or products because one must be wise with the selection of finishes, like opting to use the ones that is locally available than its imported counterparts. Now, for example, the use of mahogany as a building material within a site of its abundance could be more feasible than importing other species from other sources. But of course, for other species, the laws and regulations for harvesting of such uh, must still govern, well, to protect its existence. So technology-aided green building strategies and concepts may also require a very costly upfront cost. One perfect example are the solar panels, which is readily available in the market, costing around 125,000 pesos to 1.2 million pesos. However, you must account that this will produce solar energy upon its installation and will lessen or eliminate your uh, monthly electrical bill consumption right away. Now, manufacturers and dealers nowadays promise your return on investment within 3 to 4 years, depending of course on the preferred payment scheme. Next would be life cycle cost. It is the cost of material over its entire life, not at the time of purchase and installation. This entails how green products and systems are liquid to sustain themselves over the entire life of the building. So, for instance, if you will sum up the cost of electricity and air conditioning maintenance of a 15-year-old building, you will see that this will be greater than its construction cost, and you will discover the savings that you have earned. The third would be the maintenance cost, which is the cost of having a home. Now, this involves the cost of repairs and service checkups, which sometimes are difficult to manage as these are deemed less pressing. However, many homeowners are caught by surprise since these are not usually part of their monthly budget. Examples of which are air conditioning cleaning, repainting, roof and drainage, uh, electrical repairs. Now, the remarkable benefits of green building is categorized into three as per WGBC, namely the environmental, economic, and social. So green buildings reduce negative impact to the environment by using less energy. Also, less consumption of water or natural resources by generating their own energy or increasing biodiversity. As energy efficiency in buildings play a critical role in reducing carbon emissions, especially in the power generation sector, since at the global level, the building sector is about 36 to 40% of, and it has the largest potential for reducing carbon emissions significantly as compared to the other sectors. Now, these can be done through direct measures such as energy efficiency, fuel switching, and uh, renewable energy use. Now, it's also a good fact to know that LEED certified green buildings have shown to consume about 25% less energy and 11% less water than the non-green buildings. Now, LEED, or Leadership in Energy Efficient Design, is a US-based green building rating system that is geared towards healthier, cost and resource efficient, productive places and environments, which in turn increases building value, higher lease rates, and decrease utility and operational costs. So as for economic benefits, these can be reflected on the utility bills of its occupants or tenants because energy and water being used daily are now renewable and sustainable. So moreover, green strategies can also lower construction costs and achieve higher property value for building developers. Now, green building could also increase occupancy rates, which will result to more foot traffic, more revenue, and jobs as well. Dodge and Data Analytics in 2016 stated that green buildings command a 7% increase in asset value over traditional buildings. Now, social benefits are also of the same footing when we include the health and well-being of those people who works in green offices or families living in green homes. Now, there is a 101% increase in brain function for people who are dwelling or working in green, particularly in well-ventilated spaces. Now, the American Academy of Sleep Medicine in 2013 stated that employees in offices with windows slept an average of 46 minutes more per night. Because you see, planning to having your own home or place of business takes more than just knowing the projected construction cost to be incurred by your chosen investment. Because the more time you spend on planning, considering all the green concepts, strategies, and discussing these ideas with your architect, you are setting the path to sustainable living. And hence, you will achieve good value for money. And isn't it the greatest noble thing to be investing into saving the very planet you're living in? So now I'm going to show you some examples of LEED certified buildings in the Philippines. The Philippine Green Building Code was developed by DPWH in 2016 to promulgate and concretize green practices for buildings to use resources such as energy, water, and materials efficiently while reducing the building's impact on human health and environment. Measures such as energy efficiency, water efficiency, material sustainability, solid waste management, site sustainability, indoor environmental quality, Now these are rated thoroughly for new developments with 10,000 square meters to 20,000 square meters of minimum total gross floor area coverage. Now, this code also is applicable to additions, conversions, or renovations of the same area coverage. Now, just to give you a glimpse of the things considered for energy efficiency under the building envelope, we have uh, air tightness and moisture protection, which involves air infiltration and exfiltration. We have window to wall ratio or WWR, which primarily focuses on solar heating coefficients. We have the natural ventilation or the use of operable windows. We have the building envelope color, which points out the solar reflectance of the building's exterior surface, and roof insulation, which is on the reduction of heat transfer through the roof. Now, for energy efficiency of mechanical systems, this is also a section to be accounted for. No, starting with the efficiency of air conditioning equipment, energy efficient water heating systems under the PSVARI standards on energy efficient buildings, the variable speed drives and high efficiency motors, which regulates the mechanical system operations, including the enthalpy recovery of exhaust air for fresh air supply. Well, these are all mechanical terms, and honestly, my knowledge of such is not as profound as those of the mechanical engineers. For electrical systems efficiency, for this measure, daylight provisions and controlled lighting system are put into the spot, which concerns how natural lighting is being harvested and how artificial lighting is controlled. Now, light power density, on the other hand, regulates power consumption due to lighting. We have the occupancy sensors or the controlled use of artificial lighting due to demand. Then the lifts and escalators efficiency, transformers, and the overhead and elevated water storage for the distribution of water or for the water distribution system. Right, so water efficiency. Now, this includes efficient water fixtures and wastewater management. Under this tab, we will see the coverage on the rainwater harvesting as well as the water recycling for the resulting water from sewage treatment plants. For material sustainability, this covers the use of non-toxic materials with the least impact to the environments and to the human beings. Solid waste management covers the efficient waste management and segregation. Now, this is how material recovery facilities or MRFs are being rated. For site sustainability, which concerns on site preparation and earthworks, how to produce impact of construction activities as well as open space utilization or provision of green and permeable areas to recharge the groundwater reservoir. Now, for indoor environmental quality, this responds on the minimum fresh air rates following the PSVARI standards, the designation of the smoking areas under the RA 9211 or the Tobacco Regulations Act are also considered to maintain a good indoor air quality. Okay, so the building code is mandatory as other local zoning ordinances from the LGUs may still be implemented. But there are also other voluntary rating systems like LEED, BREEAM, Verde, Green that also have specified ratings for green building practices. Now, checklist is being used by the local building official for all the trades to carefully review and assess the project's conformity with the code. Now, in addition to detailed drawings, documentations, or schedules may be deemed necessary under the areas of concern. Ocular inspections, as well as as-built plans, presentation of product labels and brochures, which were installed uh, for the materials that were installed, are also required in the occupancy clearance process. All right. So green building basically is the use of common sense to have a better quality of life. And you may never know it, but you are already practicing in your own home the key concepts of green building. But nevertheless, here are some of the green concepts and sustainable ideas you can apply. So a good planned house without wasted spaces are easier to maintain. Big spaces with high ceiling equates to more expensive construction and operational cost. One thing to consider is that big rooms require more energy to cool. You may need to double the capacity of your air conditioning units for that matter, no? Uh, Unless you are planning in making these big spaces usable, like for example, a guest room can be converted to a home gym or a home office. Now, now big houses may also have longer hallways to service the rooms and areas within, no? And without natural lighting, these may also require more artificial light. So smaller homes are indeed more social than the bigger houses, as these have positive effects to the well-being of its occupants, and it is simply bringing families even closer. So if you ever consider having additional rooms for your home or office, did you know that the sustainable way to do this is to add more floors than to sprawl out, because this reduces the impact in the biodiversity of your site. But if this cannot be done, a development on stilts, which with a semi-permeable ground, is also a better path to take. Now, your architect can also introduce convertible options from movable partitions or even a completely convertible deck. So moreover, transformer furniture is more than just a fad these days, but rather an obvious solution for multiple purpose requirements. Now, the cost upfront does not necessarily need to be high if if all the right ingredients are geared to serve its purpose. Now, imagine conducting your business within the safety of your home, as your living room transforms to another purpose. Now, you can never put a price on that, right? So, by making provisions for uh, proper waste segregation areas or for storing recyclables, can help in this advocacy of reuse, reduce, and recycle. As simple as using the food waste from the undersink bucket as your compost for your garden is already considered a sustainable act. Now, in a broader measure, the reuse of salvaged stone or reclaimed wood from old demolished structures can add character when used as a building material. Now, the defects such as the rust stains, the nail holes, and chip surfaces are just perfect for distressed interior concepts and timeless qualities. So the battle of using recycled versus the natural building materials versus the commercially available materials have long been a concern as to guarantee the materials harmful effects on the environment or its healthiness as a natural material to the end users. Now the standpoint is always on what is the priority of the project. Is it economy or comfortability? Is it durability or aesthetics? Or would it be green or would it be lean? Now, what to be installed or used to your building is already defined as early as the initial phases of design, which means that every building element and finish like paint, tiles, or roof must also be carefully specified and planned, just like how every space is thought of. Now, choosing paint with low or zero VOC content or the volatile organic compounds is always a healthy option because the new house smell is the odor of these volatile compounds of gassing and releasing harmful chemicals and like harmful chemicals like industrial solvents to the indoor environment. Now, the use of formaldehyde-free oriented strand board or OSB or a type of engineered wood like particle board is an efficient alternative to plywood as these are made from low wood particles and it also has a distinctive finish too. Moreover, you may also consider the use of natural linoleum over the vinyl flooring as the former is made from cork and linseed oil. Now, the latter, on the other hand, is petroleum based or made from chlorinated chemicals such as PVC. So, linoleum is more eco friendly, low toxic, less flammable, antimicrobial. It is easier to repair and it can last up to 40 years, whereas vinyl typically lasts about 7 to 10 years. But the cost may vary as per design, and the other features such as water resistance features will be also considered for the price. Now, vinyl has replaced linoleum in the market because of its comparable durability and it is more, of course, DIY friendly. So light colored roofing reduces the heat buildup through the roof, so increasing the thermal comfort for the users and decreasing the need for air conditioning. Now, stone coated metal roofing is another option. It's lightweight, fire resistant, it is sound absorbent, and it is durable to stand all weather conditions. So energy efficiency. Now this is the cornerstone of any green building project. The use of energy in its generation contributes mainly to air pollution and climate change. Uh, Using renewable energy lowers utility expenses, and the consumers can get to reap its benefits or could allot the savings to other expenses. So from solar water heaters, photovoltaic panels or solar panels, drip irrigation systems, biomass, or use of any natural building product that is easily renewable, energy efficient, and non-polluting is uh, being efficient, so to speak. Now, appliances like refrigerators and freezer are among the largest chunk of your household energy. So it's about 25% apart from your ACU consumption. So when you find one for your homes, always look for the Energy Star label. So these products uh, that bears this mark typically are 10 to 20% more energy efficient, though these models do not necessarily equate to be a better product than the other who lacks the mark, but it is a product exceeding the performance guidelines for energy efficiency. So overplanted gardens have high inputs of water and chemicals without taking into consideration climate and soil condition. Now, most of the times, you just fell in love with a certain type of plant and want to take it back home. Now, you must consider that these plants are like any living creature, which will naturally flourish in their own appropriate climate, including the type of soil of the area. Hence, they will be in harmony with the local environment, and it will help you reduce the use of chemicals and you can control the waste generation. You can conserve water to provide healthier soil with increased biodiversity. So rainwater is a very valuable natural resource that most people disregard for the same reason as they do not trust what are the things being channeled through their gutters and downspouts. Rain barrels, for example, or above ground cisterns or underground gravel dry wells are also best options to catch and store rainwater or the runoff for landscape irrigation, for flushing uh, low flow toilets and faucets with flow reducers for household cleaning. Now, the potability of rainwater, on the other hand, is as safe as the container that you keep it in, unless it is coming directly from the sky, then its purity is far from question. But drinking from stored rainwater, of course, requires a series of regular disinfection, filtration, and testing to be sure that it is free from contaminants, viruses, and all sorts of harmful bacteria. So many years ago, CFLs or compact fluorescent lamps replaced the incandescent bulbs. CFLs became a profitable investment for every home because of its ability to produce an equivalent amount of light with lesser power generation. In the same way as how LED bulbs started to flourish couple of years back when it became readily available in the local market for consumers. But then the objective rests the same: more light coverage, less power generation for a cheaper price. Now, some LED bulbs are now equipped with built-in sensors to start and cease function only by demand. So lighting and power outlets can now be controlled with your smartphone through a mobile app. Again, an energy efficient concept that you can consider. So Windows being part of your building's envelope is as important as how you address the roof. So it plays a major role in energy efficiency, as here in the Philippines, the solar heat gain is one factor in addressing the thermal comfort of the indoor environment. So it is used to consider to determine the capacity of the ACU to be installed, or the design of the HVAC system for large scale projects. Though low E coatings are virtually unnoticeable to the eye, and it may have a plus 10% to 15% cost variance than the usual, but they definitely aid in heat reflection. So it makes the indoor environment of the building more comfortable. So in addition to windows with reflective films, can also reduce heat gain, particularly during the late afternoon for building sections uh, oriented to the southwest. So architects, engineers, interior designers are only some of the key players in the architecture, engineering, and construction industry. Now, their years of valuable knowledge and specializations are vital in making all green design strategies work. So from the initial phases of design to the turnover of each project and even up to its operations, architects as the prime professional knows how to provide design solutions to effectively address a design problem and how to make it work with all trades. Now he or she also determines what is economical and what is not. He or she can translate the client's vision to reality. Now, the architect then consults to structural engineers for the skeletal facets of a building, in the same way as seeking consult to electrical, sanitary, and mechanical engineers for matters concerning the electrical, plumbing, fire protection, and HVAC systems. So the design of specialized furniture, on the other hand, can be successfully done through an interior designer. So aside from these key players of the AAC, building owners also need various professionals who are trained in their field of expertise, to address concerns of the projects like uh, the doctors, the landscape architects, the accountants, the lawyers, uh, IT, and even HR professionals. So the architecture of today is geared towards wellness. So gone were the days where architecture was designed from a majestic grandeur perspective, then becoming utilitarian in nature to being ergonomic by how it functions, to becoming a beacon of wellness to its users. Now, considering all the dimensions of wellness to a building, uh, it can be achieved with the concepts of green building. Now, the realms of one's physical, emotional, spiritual, social, and intellectual magnitudes, and more importantly, the environmental and occupational dimensions, can be addressed both actively and passively through every design intervention, which leads to the betterment and the better quality of life. Now, people are the greatest resource. So, from a small family to a bigger organization. So, come to think of it like this, no? Having economy in mind. Now, these rooms to be designed would be designed at minimum cost. Now, having environment in mind, will have these social spaces designed at optimum eco-friendly levels. But having wellness intertwined in such can create a gold mine within your entire development. So I want to end this talk with just a few words. Sleeping patterns, food waste, compost may be a very minute subject for some as compared to the pressing issues of economy. But in green building, the leanest, most unrecognized things once taken into pedestal can solve bigger problems that economy could not solve on its own. So for almost a couple of years, we have learned to become more resilient, or rather withstand and just adapt to the new normal. Now our body clocks have changed. Our usual businesses have been disrupted together with our bank accounts. Though during this time of man taking cover in our own cocoons, nature or the environment began to heal and recover. Now, knowing all the harmful effects this pandemic has struck to us all, uh, it has created thicker and stronger cocoons for all of us. We have been ever health conscious. We were exercising more. We were watching our calorie and vitamin intakes. We have started our own backyard gardens, which have brought agriculture to our cities. We learned how to play the guitar, start a journal. Some of us learned how to paint, which have greatly improved our senses and concentration. Now, during this time, we valued our families and their physical presence more than ever, which promoted belongingness and interaction. We have been more creative with those business ideas to be sustainable, and most importantly, all of us have prayed more, which I believe that helped all of us survive. You see, the concept of green building is as easy as that: efficiency, sustainability, and quality. Now, the challenge lies not in the concept, for it is just a baseline, but to you. Now, as we are coming out, let us keep that green light on. Let us grasp the new learnings and get ourselves ready for the new challenges, take new opportunities with a joyful heart, and together let us improve the quality of life that this new world has in store for all of us. Thank you for this great opportunity, and may the great architect in heaven bless us all.
Thank you so much, Architect JOHNUS Mirazol, for that very interesting discussion on green architecture, giving us great ideas about it that we never thought before. Now, friends, joining us live for the question and answer portion, we have here our speaker, Architect JOHNUS Renan Mirazol. Good morning, sir.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning
Am
po,
I naman
and
clear?
thank you so much for joining us. We have here the first question, Architect. Can green architecture concepts be also applied to larger developments such as complexes or residential subdivisions? Again, the question is, can green architecture concepts be also applied to larger developments such as complexes or residential subdivisions?
Yes. Before I answer that question, I want to thank CSCCI for inviting me to be one of your speakers. No, I want to virtually thank your president, Miss Maria Soledad Magtuto, for conducting this event. And gratitude also to our fourth CamSur Business Expo chairperson, Miss Maria Emma Llorin, and most especially to the third CamSur Construct chairperson, Miss Erline Nicole Canada, for this great opportunity. Well, to answer that question, no, definitely. You see, the receiving end of green building is the environment, and developments such as residential subdivisions could easily become a flagship of change. And honestly, uh, I envy these developers, no, because they have the power in their hands to set the path towards green developments, and they have the ability to become catalysts and benchmarks. So imagine if you have a subdivision project that is designed towards the direction of environmental sustainability, uh, it will eventually create green communities. And because the people's mindset is more important than just being an enticing selling point statement, no? So because people living in these developments, uh, they would then absorb the fact that, hey, I am living in a green subdivision, so my action should be more mindful with towards the environment. Like my house should have those rainwater harvesters or those solar water heaters, or maybe I use my roof deck as a vegetable garden because my kapitbahay has it. So you know, no? So it's all in the mindset. And actually, you don't need to apply every green concept and strategy there is in the market, no, onto your developments, or for that matter, because it will really cost you a lot. But having one is better than having none. So that's the point. And surely all great good things will come to you because you started it right. So I think that answers the question, no? If it can be applied, yes.
Yes, thank you so much, Architect, for that beautiful answer. And the second question is, with the current pandemic situation, how could green architecture intervene to get us back on track? Again, that's with the current pandemic situation, how could green architecture intervene to get us back on track?
Right. So this is a very timely and loaded question nowadays. No. So during this time, all of us have lost our freedom to leave our houses, even just to breathe fresh air outside. And we have conducted all of our activities online, just like this one. And it is a brave thing to admit, no, that this current pandemic situation can never be solved by green architecture alone, since it is a dilemma that only medicine and science could overcome, no. But interventions, either it is big or small, can definitely create uh, new tracks for all of us. You see, getting back on the old track, or the old normal, is the same banana that put us in this condition, no? So one example, I know you get my point, no? One example is that in the old normal we have these small cluttered public spaces. Definitely these are not adaptable to the social distancing regulations to begin with. So if you're gonna ask me, I don't want any of this, but I don't want to get back to the old ways either. So I think the best foot forward is, or with less impact, to the cost is for all of us property owners or the real estate developers to be mindful of our open spaces. So maybe this time around, why not plan its location more efficiently, be generous on its size, and maybe make them the focal points of your project, not just on the sidelines. No, so the reason why is because these open spaces are the breeding points of every development. Now, maybe we could have converted these open spaces to become transient community marketplaces during the lockdowns. No, so hindi na natin kailangan lumabas pa sana, or hindi na kailangan na i-risk yung ating mga sarili, because we have our marketplace inside our community, no, using that open spaces. Now, if these open spaces could have also have a renewable energy technology or a water supply, then talagang full blast talaga ito, no. So open spaces now could have become a good source of air quality, and also a place of a peace and quiet. It is a zen space for you to reflect on your life, to reflect on your future plans. And basically, no, these open spaces, if these are to design properly, you don't have to disturb the natural biodiversity of it. So sometimes kasi we see developments na they're really trying hard to create open spaces na talagang magnificent, grandeur. Hindi naman kailangan ganon. Just because they are trying to perceive the rules of the marketing department. So hindi kailangan ganon, no? Because it is important that the open spaces should be maximized, and really not just a compliance with the code. So that's just one example. Marami pang iba actually. Sorry, I took this too long, sorry.
Yes, thank you so much, Architect. Di kailangan ang magnificent spaces. Small spaces, pwede na yon to start with our green architecture. Third question, Architect, is this. Green architecture is usually perceived as costly, especially for sectors dwelling in less urbanized or rural areas. Have you had projects that are cost-effective or affordable for the masses? What is the average cost? Again,
Yes,
if I may
our company,
repeat the question, or not necessary. Have you had projects that are cost-effective or affordable for the masses? What is the average cost?
All right. So yes, our company, Jamaica Realty and Marketing Corporation, offers convertible houses. So just like what I showed earlier, we also have townhouses that are open for socialized housing. So it would be impossible to have these designed with renewable technologies, because it would definitely create an impact with the cost, and of course the issues of affordability. Now, but the very essence of preparing these structures to be manageable and convertible in the future is already a green concept strategy. Now, both in space planning and in spacious rooms and areas, is already a plus, with proper orientation of the building's entire plan to harness the right amount of sunlight in case the owners decide to have renewable technology in their structures like solar panels or the solar water heaters. No, now in construction naman, in these structures, our company make it sure that we have the shortest construction time frame, so that we would have a shorter impact to the environment. So we are eyeing that we do not disrupt the natural environment for too long, but then we are doing this using efficient construction methodologies that are easier to build, easier to manage, and of course easier to finish. Now, as for the cost, you're asking for the cost. The price of our socialized housing with lot, it's a package deal. No, it's about 750,000 pesos, or that's 23,000 per square meter, approximately.
Okay, thank you for that idea. I'm taking note of green concept strategy.